Now, if you know that there's going to be a medium or high impact news driver, you know those days are going to be really easy for a silver bullet to form. What time does a silver bullet form on? You start looking at it from a 5-minute chart. You look from a 5-minute. If it's not there, you go down to a 4-minute chart. If it's not there, you go down to a 3, then down to a 2, down to a 1. If it doesn't exist on a 1-minute chart, you have to either let it go if you don't want to go into the seconds chart, or go into the 30-second or 15-second chart. Don't go any lower than 15-second. But that's where it's going to form. It's a high frequency trading entry mechanism if you're using it on the seconds chart, but you're using a criteria that's been formed from a weekly to a daily, specifically aiming on a day that has a medium or high impact news driver, and you're waiting for that initial displacement and manipulation. And you only trade between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock. The entry must be taken there. If it isn't, you wait to the next session. You missed the move, or it's going to be in the afternoon session, or it already formed in the London session. There's your rules. It's simple, but you won't stick to it if you're undisciplined. If you're undisciplined, you're going to no, I can't do that. I can't follow that. But if you followed it, it's going to give you money. You're going to take losses when it comes, but it makes money. It gives you consistency in terms of finding setups. It's a logic that you can time it. The economic calendar, you can see in advance. What's the economic calendar going to be for next month in June? They're already there. They already tell you when these reports are going to come out. So you know, okay, there's going to be an opportunity on that day. A Mustang. I'd blow the doors off you, boy. But the idea of not knowing where these setups form, it's all been canceled. I'll tell you exactly now where, when, and why. The logic going. Now, what about all the other moves that take place around the other days and intraday that's opposed to that weekly objective, or where we think it's going to go to? You ignore it. You filter it out. That's what I was really getting to on Friday. Every long was pretty much good. There were some longs that I should have taken more partials off or closed the trade on, and then not gone short. But I was showing you both directions, up, down, up, down. The longs were better. Why? Because the weekly volume imbalance was the real draw on liquidity. Now, if you want to be real nimble and you get your 5 handles when it made itself available to you, like I could have done that up, down, up, down, up, down all day long on Thursday. But your focus is to look for quality over quantity. Your goal should not be, I can take 12 trades intraday in the same day and all of them be profitable. That's not something you should strive for. You want to be able to be consistently profitable and content with looking for the best, the choicest, the cream of the crop, best setups. So that way you can trust it. And when you're able to do that, number one, you're exhibiting discipline, you're exhibiting self-control that most traders don't have. They don't have that. The way you arrive at it is having a model that's well-defined. What are you looking for? What does it look like? When does it occur consistently? See, if the markets were random, I'm going to say this and close it. If the markets were indeed random, how the fuck is a silver bullet setup possible? And why is it so consistent? Because the markets are not random. They're controlled, they're coded, and they're ran by an algorithm. And because it's coded and it's ran by an algorithm, it has to do certain things. And we are waiting for the time when manipulation would occur, whether it be automated within the part that is algorithmic, or if it's manual intervention. We're waiting for that displacement. And we'll fall victim to trades that are manually intervened. Sometimes there'll be a trade that sets up. You'll get in it. You're following all the rules. And then all of a sudden, hang on 1 second. I had to turn the car back on. There you go. You'll take a trade and it'll be stopped out. But nothing has changed. All it was a run on the liquidity one more time. Your stop was in too early. You entered too early. And then you got to re-enter the market. How do you know that? Experience. Studying old moves. Not seeing the other side of the marketplace just because you got stopped out. If I get stopped out and I'm like, okay, I got stopped out. Did it really change anything? No. It just ran for my stop. No problem. I'm going back in. Okay. That's what happens. Sometimes you're going to do it wrong as a human being. But you have to have the experience to be able to identify the market still has the opportunity to do what I expected in the beginning, even though I took a loss. There's going to be times where you see the market change and morph into, if you're bullish, something extremely bullish. You watched me do that on Friday too. Market went down. I was already long several contracts, and it went one more time down into a level that I felt that was returning just for a reclaimed PD array. And I knew that was the one. That was the one I was waiting for. There's no doubt about it. And added another larger position in terms of the trade size. And it turned right there and ran away. That's experience. You can't get that from a book, even if I wrote it. You can't get that from a video, whether I do a 5-minute video of it or someone else tries to reduce it down to a 5-minute video, or if I do a whole week-long lecture on it. It needs to be experienced individually. And that's the part that nobody wants to hear. Nobody wants to hear that. They think that there's going to be a teacher out there that's going to be able to tell them real short and easy, this is what you need to know, and now you heard me say it, or I showed it to you as an example. Now you know how to do it. That's bullshit. Believe me, that's bullshit. The folks that use my name on their YouTube channels and they say, I've done all the work so that way you don't have to, or learn this easier and faster. ICT did this, and I can make it faster for you. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, because you can't compress what needs to be learned on an individual basis. You can't. That is a bandwidth that's uniquely experienced. You can't do anything to change it. You can't augment it. You can't speed it up. You can't elongate it. It is what it is. And that's what makes this expensive as an industry. Not because you can lose money, but because it takes a lot of fucking effort and time. And you bring all your baggage to it. All your character flaws, the things that you don't like about yourself. And if you're really forced to look at it, it'll make you unsettled. And some people don't like who they discover who they are. And they manifest that in losing because they don't want to weather going through it. To grow through that. They just want to turn their cheek and say, oh, this guy's a fraud. This stuff doesn't work. Nobody makes money trading. And there it is. That allows them to live the existence where they haven't corrected their problems. Their impatience, their impulsiveness, their greed, their lazy fuckingness. Like I just coined a term, lazy fuckingness. Whatever. Lazy doesn't work here, folks. Lazy doesn't work, and impatience doesn't allow you to stay in this game long enough to learn. So you have to be patient. You have to be really, really disciplined with your time. If you're listening to someone, like for instance, someone new, someone new that comes to this industry, maybe this is the first time you listen to me, and I probably talked about things that mean nothing to you, and you probably are going to close this in a couple minutes when I end it, if you're even going to stay that long. You probably already turned it off anyway, just to be honest with yourself. But the folks that see or listen to things like this and come away with this expectation or opinion that this was a waste of time. You haven't traded with real money. You haven't found consistency yet. Because you believe that there's something out there someone has that's going to be easy, 1, 2, 3. You're going to understand it real quick. You're never going to make mistakes. You don't have to fix any character flaws in yourself. And you're going to make money and you'll never have a losing trade. Believe me, I felt that same shit existed too when I first started. You may not admit it publicly on social media, but that's deep down inside. That's what you're really looking for, because you really believe that it's out there. And I'm probably the closest thing to it. And if I have this, there's got to be somebody else out there that has this much better, and shortened it up, make it real easy for you. And I'm being honest with you. The things I'm telling you that I can't teach you, no one's going to be able to teach you. You learn it from experience. You lose, you learn from that. How can I teach you adequately how to fix a $25,000 drawdown with real money? How can I tell you in a book, in a video series? How can I, even if I did it live? I went into a live account, purposely lost $25,000 and say, now here's how I'm going to fix it. You You can't bring yourself to the same perspective as if it was your $25,000. You can't. You have to experience that. So there's a whole lot of learning curve to this that everybody simply just tiptoes around it and tap dances like it's all going to be good. It's not. And you have to learn the most valuable lessons are from the pain, the losing. I love when I hear people, whether it be using my content, even folks that are outside of what I teach, when they're candid with their audience and they say, you know, I'm really having a hard time with this, and I lost this, and this is what I did wrong. Man, I have the utmost fucking respect for somebody like that, because that's the reality. Everybody can go out there with hindsight fucking Harry mentorship level shit and talk about what's already happened. And it sounds educated. It sounds like, oh, wow, he should be able, or she should be able to do that live. But they'll never do it. They'll never fucking do that. They won't call it. They won't trade it. They won't even record their executions. And they're building their name on fucking horse shit just for clout. The folks that are out there that are really out there in the trenches and they're sharing, whether they're teaching or just making their experience known to everyone else on YouTube. That's what I like about Corbs. Okay. And Corbs, if you're listening, dude, seriously, your fucking channel would grow if you recorded your executions and then went in with the same idea that you do afterwards. Like when you go and you meet everybody at noon, you probably are talking live right now. If you're in his live stream, if he's doing one right now, tell him I'm mentioning him right now. But I told him once before, I said, just record your executions. I mean, you're going so far as to show what your executions were up and down, you know, getting in after the fact. So just record them. Just record them. And then afterwards, whether it's good or bad, go in and tell everybody what you're feeling and what you felt at the time. That's valuable. I would love to fucking see it, because you're being honest when you say you're not doing something right or you're struggling. That to me is refreshing. That's refreshing, because take a look at what is promoted in this industry, whether it's forex or futures or trading crypto, whatever the fuck it is. Everybody believes that it's the fucking rich lifestyle. That's all they got to show. They don't show anything else. If I lose, I'm going to show you I fucking lose. If I get it wrong, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and tap dance around it. I'm like, okay, I did that wrong. Boom, boom, boom. This is what I'm doing now. How often am I doing it incorrectly? I'm telling you what's going to happen, and it does. But you saw on Friday, I took a $975 hit. Didn't do shit to me. Bringing the element of humanity into it will grow your channel. Drama is not going to sell your shit. You just look like a little weak person with little dick complex. Okay? Trolling is stupid. Everybody out there can be trolled. I can be trolled. Everybody can be trolled. This community, this industry would be better if every person out there, and this is a challenge to everybody that has a YouTube channel. Okay. I like that guy Kimmel. Yeah, I'm subscribed to him. I like listening to him. I like Hannah. And there's a couple other people I watch I'm not subscribed to, but I'm a little leery to talk about other people because, you know, Patrick Whelan pulled a dick move. Okay, all I did was give him good shit and pump him up, and he want to act like an asshole. So, but his channel will not grow with that kind of stuff. It won't grow. He's still, you know, sitting underneath 200,000. It might grow a little bit over time, but he would have exponential growth if he wasn't so fucking toxic. Be real, and don't try to tear other people down. Now, I can tear down other approaches to trading because it's all shit. And I can tell you why it's shit. I can show you where its weaknesses are and where I use my content to smash the shit out of it. Anybody that uses that logic. That's not me going after any one particular YouTube operator. But the people that use that methodology will take offense to that and say, well, he's talking about me. No, I'm not. If I'm going to talk about you, I'm going to drop your fucking name like I just did. Stop talking about me for clout. Just stop talking about me. Just focus on you. But be real. Patrick's strengths are when he's real and when he puts down his ego and he says what he's doing wrong. That is growth. He'll learn from his own shit, and he'll also tell his audience that this is normal. Everybody experiences it. I went through it. I physically had to take myself away from the charts because I know the tendency for me. I like to think I'm better than my algorithm. And if I'm given an opportunity or a stage to do so, why the fuck should I get out here and do something I know deep down inside I'm not going to be in my best performance? I'm not. So I took myself away from it. And then I took myself in front of the charts when it was presented itself. And then boom, like gangbusters, exactly how we saw our charts. Your chart looks like mine. I predicted the future using what I teach you. We didn't react to shit. We don't react to anything. We predict the future. We predict where price is going to go. We wait for certain things to occur. We go in and attack it like that cheetah. An algorithm. An algorithm. I just coined another term. An analogy. Okay, so when we're looking at price, we're anticipating certain performance in price and then go after it. We're not, if it does this, I'm going to react to it by doing that. No, I know. My students know it's going to do this. When it does, my limit order is waiting for it. I'm waiting for it to do what I already know it's likely to do. And when it does, I'm all over that shit. And I'm going to milk it and look for low-hanging fruit objectives. Easy targets. Well, which high do I get out at? Okay, well, don't argue with that. Where's 5 handles? Get out there. Do that for a couple months. Get accustomed to that. Build up some mental capital. What does it feel like to be right? Following this logic, what does it feel like? Because you don't know what that feels like. That's why you're uncertain. That's why you're afraid to put any time into it, because you're afraid that too many people are learning ICT. It's going to stop working. They're going to change the markets. What the fuck? You're arguing that there is no algorithm, but then you're saying the same people are saying, but if all these people start doing it, the market's going to start going against it. What the fuck? You just admitted that there's an algorithm. So come on. I mean, these people are stupid. They're fucking stupid. They're wasting all this time worrying about shit that isn't going to happen. What if thinking? What if you put your ass down in front of the charts and studied like I told you? What if you did all that and it worked out and you made fucking money? What if it changed your whole fucking family tree and you don't live in lack anymore? What if you can make your ends fucking meet if you just listened?